Okay, hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Michael with One-Eyed Fat Man Studios. We are coming to you from Pop Culture Autographs and Collectibles. Today I'm going to show you just some basic stuff on working on armor or clothes. I'm currently working on Scorpion from Mortal Kombat, trying to do my own version based on all the different styles of scorpions that we've seen since the beginning of the game up till the current film coming out. Now, one of the things I do is I roll out the clay in these sheets of clay. I roll it out through the pasta maker, and then I will begin to cut pieces for armor. Now, one of the things, this scorpion has a metal breastplate, it looks like, or a bronze breastplate. So we're currently working on that. And while we're doing that, I've got my youngest son over here, Steven, who wants you to see some of the stuff that he's made over the last couple of months. You got to tell him what it is, kiddo.
This is King Kong.
Now, bear in mind, this little one has watched Godzilla vs. Kong probably 18 times already. So just saying, this is a child who loves his Godzilla and loves King Kong. What else you got, kiddo? Show them the rest of your stuff. Now, who's that?
God.
You forgot?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll show them the next one.
Godzilla.
Stand it up.
I think that's the spoiler alert when Godzilla's crawling around on all fours. So, now who's that?
Godzilla.
Is it? Well, I mean, aren't you showing them all of them?
Yeah.
Well, let's move on to the next one.
This is Predator.
Next,
Mechagodzilla.
Mechagodzilla. I think Godzilla is a hit with him.
Kong.
Cool. Next. Okay, so back to the armor.
Brachiosaurus.
Brachiosaurus.
I'm gonna go ahead and heat up my clay. Start scooping.
340. Remember that.
Okay.
Okay.
Hopefully it doesn't get me.
That's why you put in those numbers. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm working on adding clay to the neck region of the armor. And there's a small triangular part of the armor right at the center of the neck. And that's what I'm working on right now. Like I was saying earlier, there are not a lot of good photos that I'm finding online of this new character design of Scorpion from this new film. A lot of the photos are very dark. It's hard to make out. But I did find one where he's fixing to fight Sub-Zero, it looks like, because there's a lot of blues and what looks like a lot of frozen stuff in and around the character. So I'm using that one to kind of be a guide on where this is going to go. Now, I think the movie comes out on the 23rd in theaters and on HBO Max, or the 26th of this month. So at some point this month, we'll be able to sit down and watch it. So if I'm not done with the armor by that time, I'll definitely be able to finish it. Um, I use Monster Clay, and I've started using Cause Clay. I use polymer clays for things like teeth or blades, something I can bake to make it harder. I don't do a lot of painting because I'm just not good at painting. So a lot of my pieces never get that painted, finished part. I mean, you can look at the Godzilla vs. Kong behind me, and I would love to paint that, but I think it would be, for me, it probably would come out looking very cartoony, and I just don't want the piece to look that way. But anyway, it's basically adding pieces, taking away from, smoothing. Unlike cloth or leather armor or clothing, doing something like an actual metal or bronze breastplate, you have to be a bit more concerned with those straight lines and how the armor would actually curve around the body. You have to pay close attention to that when you're working. What the heck is in this? But the armor has, it looks like welding, just looks like they took a lot, like you've got this run from about here that comes down into a V, and let's see if I can roll this out and kind of show you what I'm talking about, because it just, well, let's just turn the picture around and position the camera to where it can see that, if you will. So you can see it kind of looks like a really bad weld, and then these little rivets here. It doesn't look a lot like any kind of actual real Japanese armor that we've ever seen in any kind of historical book or anything like that. So we kind of have to go with what we've got. But counting these and looking at them, so I do have a clay extruder, but I'm just not going to dig it out right now because I'm out of washers for it. So I'm going to roll this stuff out by hand and do what Ace of Clay says, make a bunch of snakes of clay, which I will put onto the front of the armor. And hopefully it will wind up looking like it's supposed to.
What happened,
Something
Mommy?
else we wanted to talk about, and this is the pop culture side of it. So while I'm sculpting, I talk about pop culture subjects. And one of them we're going to talk about today is Predator. Because there was news today that the creators of Predator were taking Disney to court because it's been 35 years since the original story, The Hunter, was written, and they are taking Disney to court to get the rights to Predator back. Very similar to what happened with Friday the 13th with Victor Miller and Sean Cunningham, which, as we know, that is still, upgoing, and it's been a pain in the butt, so it's been going on for a couple of years. But, interesting fact, if you've watched the Predator movies and you know anything about Predator at all, the Predator novels and the Predator 2 novelization, the first time a human being lost, or a predator lost to a human being, was in the original Predator film. Now, if you read that second book, and if you've not read them or you've not seen the movie, there's going to be a lot of spoilers here. The Predator was much different in the way it acted. It had a weapon that was very reminiscent of a tuning fork. And in that original book, the Dutch character threw it and exploded the Predator's head. And it went on into the ship, which destroyed the ship. But the helmet records everything and sends it back to the homeworld. So that's how they knew that a Predator had lost this human. And then that's why they came to Earth, because humans were showing themselves worthy of hunting. Okay, now we were discussing this morning, Predator in 1987 loses. Okay, now since then, Predator hasn't won a single battle against human beings. They fought aliens and predators for years. They fought and they've used them for hunting. This is your hunt to be blooded. We hunt down the what is it they call them? The
Aliens?
I think it's bugs, but the predators have something else they call them. You've got all these predator books and movies and comic books and toys. Guys, I would love to see a movie where a predator actually wins. Because, we had the last Predator film, and you had this renegade predator bring a suit of armor to the human race because the predators were using all this DNA to create this ultimate hunter that the armor was able to. It was just like the ultimate. It was like a combination of everything they had ever beat. And the armor was right under the skin. But yet, this predator loses its life bringing a weapon to the human race that the human race didn't need, because they killed the hybrid predator with human weapons. I mean, okay, they did use the Predator plasma gun, but still, they didn't have this Iron Man armor that looks like a predator. So, at what point do the movies, and we know that Disney likes to franchise everything, and they do have a Predator movie on the books, which I think it's still being called Skulls at this point, but if you're like me, don't you want to see this movie play out and the Predator win? I mean, the movie's called Predator. Well, Dutch was a Predator too. Yeah, and Arnold had to win, and yeah, Predator 2 was a little bit better in a sense that Danny Glover does not look like Arnold. So him winning was, kind of okay. You're not a physical specimen, so you've got to be smarter. But if you look at that's the way the movie was written. That's the way the stories are written. Well, I'm ready to see Predators start kicking ass. Okay? You're the ultimate hunter in the galaxy. And you've been losing for 35 years since that one battle. So that's our thing, is we're going to be doing a Predator statue to go along with Scorpion, because it's going to be Scorpion versus Predator. And we know that the Predator character has been in some of the newer Mortal Kombat films as downloadable content. I mean, Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger, I think Leatherface, Predator, Alien, Batman, the Joker. There was I think a Mortal Kombat DC versus game at one point. And, okay, we've got these characters that are Scorpion and Sub-Zero, which there's definitely some magic in play here. And then you've got normal human characters beating the crap out of them. And then, once again, that makes no sense. So, if you're like me, you want to start seeing these characters that are... We just watched an animated film on Scorpion that was amazing. And Scorpion wins. And it's like, cool! He won! So, I'm of the mindset that Hollywood needs to kind of take a step back from everything has to lose to the human race at this point. Not a big problem with everybody on the spaceship getting killed and the Predator winning. Not a problem with, Outworld taking over the Earth and then them having to fight back from a last battle type mentality. Okay, you've got the god Raiden at one point becomes human to take part of Mortal Kombat, but he's still got all the same powers he did as a god. So if Liu Kang is just a regular guy, or Johnny Cage is just a regular guy, at what point is that battle fair unless you take away powers or give powers? Jax and his cybernetic arms, for instance. Somehow Kano and that eye that shoots a laser. So we're talking about making movies and TV shows where the characters are fighting these outlandish characters and kicking their butts. What I want to see. But anyway, so we're back to this armor. This actually has another V that runs down the front from the pieces that hook at the collar. And then, now I'm not going to attach these, but I do want to show you what I'm seeing in this photo here. And then you have a line that, another one that comes in. And so we've got two V's, one very narrow and one very wide. And then a multiple, it looks like 4 or 3 straight lines along the bottom. Now this is all metal from what I can tell from this photo. And I'm just going to kind of draw these on here to give you an idea of what I'm seeing in this armor. And then I don't have the rivets on it, but you're looking at a piece of, it looks almost like some kind of breastplate you would see on a Roman centurion. So this is the chest armor for this new Scorpion, but yet the shoulder blades, the shoulder armor looks really close to traditional samurai armor. It kind of leather with metal worked into it. And then he has, it looks like a gi top, and then metal gauntlets, and somehow the chain is in the gauntlet. So this one's going to wind up having this particular mask that I did. And when I was doing it, I kept seeing Jason X. So, but we're going to have that, and then we're going to have a hood. Let's see if I can... I haven't cut any of this clothing or anything, so just, you know, kind of give me a second to make it work. So he'll have the hood, and then there will be this chest armor, which would probably, the hood goes underneath of it. So, and I'm not going to push this all the way on there because I've not sculpted these pieces on there, but that kind of gives you an idea of where we're going. So can you see it okay? Move it closer. So, when doing a piece like, I mean, I don't know if he's got tabby boots on or if he's just got leather shoes. Like I said, not a lot of good photos. I'm even trying to find photos of the figures from the film, and so far, the mask is nothing like the one that's in the movie, because I'm doing my own mask. I kind of went with, I wanted the mask to kind of say this is a skull, because we know that when Scorpion pulls off his hood, there's a skull, and he breathes fire, and he burns the person to ash. So I want to kind of have the mask be reminiscent of a skull when he's actually fighting. So it gives you kind of a hint of what's under the mask. But it's probably going to take me a month, if my hands are going to cooperate and not hurt as bad, to get this fit. And I am going to actually use a real chain for the knife and chain, and I guess that would be considered the Scorpion's tail. But I don't know a whole lot about the Mortal Kombat universe other than the game. So I do know that Scorpions hates Sub-Zero because of, you know, him killing his family or something. But stay tuned for updates. I will also be working on Biollante on some of these videos, and we're going to kind of try to alternate Scorpion, Biollante, and I've got a Herman Munster I have to make for a customer, so I will be doing the videos of that, commission as well. And at some point, I'm going to try to sculpt the new Mechagodzilla. And it will be in scale with the large Godzilla and Kong that if you all have watched the channel or seen the One-Eyed Fat Man Studios Facebook page, they're on there. The Godzilla is 4 foot long, He's I think was 24 or 26 inches tall, and then Kong is about 22 inches tall. So it's going to be a pretty big piece, which means I'm going to be sculpting a lot of sharp angles to make it look more machined. But stay tuned. You can follow us on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter. You can check us out on Patreon. We're going to be starting to do multiple videos a week. We're fixing to have a place set up at home where I can do these videos from home, so I can be sculpting from home and from this store location. But we're getting there slowly but surely, and just keep an eye out. Hit the bell notification. Let us know what you think in the comments. If there's something you want to see us sculpt, let us know. And we can put it on the books if it's something that I think I'm going to be capable of doing within a reasonable amount of time. And as always, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.